talk about the guys, the men that are in the scene. We have got some real champions in the scene. People such as Devin Townsend loves working with women. Rick Wakeman, the Steves Hackett, Anne Rothery, Stephen Wilson. Always got some great women working with him. So have you had any champions yourself? I mean, you've mentioned people in your band like Danny Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, they were all very supportive when they were sober. I mean, that was in the early days, you know. But no, I mean, yeah, I have been particularly lucky, you know, with some of the musicians I've worked with. I mean, I don't play an instrument, so I'm always have to rely on. I'm working with a guy at the moment called Kevin Dempsey. It's like going back to my roots. He's an acoustic guitar player, and it's really nice, you know. And he's supportive. We're supporting each other. But I mean, I have been really lucky with the chaps I've worked with. They've always, you know, been quite deferential and kind, but they do tend to, they do tend to talk over you. All of them.
I think that if they're talking over each other, they're probably just doing it with other people as well.
Yeah,
Marjana, last time I saw you perform, it was with Jordan Rudess actually, which was a lovely thing. Men that you've worked with.
Actually, since you mentioned Jordan Rudess, I'm singing on his solo record, which he hasn't announced that particular fact yet. But that's a great support. And the most recent experience I've also had was with Stephen Rothery, because he invited me to play a solo set on one of his festivals before I even said anything about the fact that I'm going to be doing solo sets. So that kind of came out of nowhere, and it was very nice. And he's in general very supportive of my kind of solo career outside the band, which is very nice because I kind of need that encouragement. So yeah.
And I've got any male champions?
Well, the best ones are my band.
Yeah.
Those guys, they're my best friends. They're so supportive. They put up with so much shit from my side. Sometimes I can be a very complicated person to work with. No, it's all really just a great balance, and I'm so happy to have them. And I've been really lucky with men. I would say I'm the type of woman that has more male friends than female ones. And but one really rewarding experience I actually just came from before going on this tour, and it was at the studio. I got to engineer one of the most famous blues exports from Switzerland, Philipp Funkhauser. He's a gold record selling artist in Switzerland, and I was just so excited because I could engineer his new record. And they could have picked anyone from, we were 4 engineers in total at my studio, all of the others men, and they picked
You got
me.
the gig.
So was
it everything you hoped for and more?
It was amazing. They flew in a producer from the States, and I was just treated with so much respect, and they put so much trust in my skills. It was really exhilarating. So
good to hear. Excellent. Heather.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. I was championed strongly by Brian Josh in the early days of Most of the Autumn. Worked with Irene Lucasen, again, he's fantastic. Yeah, he's amazing to work with. Ian Anderson also invited us to sing on tour with them and chose a couple of my songs, and then brought Jethro Tull out to play on the songs, and he also came and played on them as well. That was great. He's also just played on my new album, which is secret. And also my co-writer, producer for my new album, Luke Morley, has been a fantastic champion. Yeah, really, really extremely supportive, and sort of really over the course of recording the album with him, even though I've been doing this for such a long time, it played quite a role of a mentor really a lot as well, because we're sort of crossing genres a little bit too. So yeah, I've really enjoyed working with Luke.
Christina.
Yeah, well, the lads in the band, definitely. And Rob Reed and I go back a long way. We went through a lot together.
The punk wars.
In the early days. But yeah, and I've had the pleasure of working with sort of, Chris Postle was RPWL, and Clive Nolan I've worked with a lot. He likes his ladies, Clive.
He does, he's really good,
does.
isn't he? Yeah.
He's very grandfatherly, shall I say. You know, he's a lovely fella to work with. So yeah, but definitely the camaraderie that we have within Magenta with the, with the lads is really good.
Sharon, your roster, they're all good to you, aren't they?
They're all amazing. I am so honoured and lucky, and it's just wonderful. I mean, Steve Hackett is, most of them have become friends over the years. Ian Anderson is fantastic. I worked with Thunder for many, many years, and I'm still friendly with the guys and have lunch with Danny regularly. There's some Steve Rothery, Steve Hogarth, the Marillion guys. Yes. I recently was on the cruise to the Edge with Yes and Steve Hackett and John Lodge, in fact. And last year I went and Marillion were there with Steve Hackett and Yes, and they're all amazing. And they have become part of my life, and they are friends apart from anything else. I mean, I just got an email, funnily enough, from Tony Kay this weekend. He was having a housewarming and invited one of my girlfriends that I introduced him to, who lives very close. So it's really nice. And I'm very honoured and very flattered and very, very lucky.
Good rewarding relationships then.
It really, really is.
And
Yeah.
Catherine, you've got your co-founder.
Yeah, I think Joe actually works at a venue, the Boiler Room in Guildford, which is owned by a lady as well. So he's often discussed with me before we started this project, how infuriating he found it to be addressed as the decision maker while standing next to the decision maker, for example. So it's something that we've been conscious of historically anyway. I used to tour manage and was very used to the bands that I worked with saying, no, actually, she is not the girlfriend of any of us. She is managing the band for the tour. And so they were always very keen to put people who made incorrect assumptions in the right frame of mind. With the Radar Festival, a lot of the press have been incredibly positive about the fact that it is promoted by a lady as well. Hold Tight, that we work with, have been very forward. I know James through Tesseract anyway, because I've known them and historically been friends with them for a very long time, and they've been championing what we're doing. But I would like to think that that's because they believe in what we are doing. I don't think that it's a token champion because, oh, here's a festival we'd better put up because, oh, look, it's got flowers and illustrations on the poster. It must be done by a girl, which was actually chosen by Joe. So, it's one of those things that I would hope. I have a lot of people that are championing what we are trying to do, but I don't necessarily think that's because I'm a girl.
Well, one of the first voices that I heard from the festival was yours.
Yes.
So I didn't actually know that Joe existed.
And long, I'm sure he'd be thrilled to hear that. But yes, I think it's been an interesting thing to see that from a press angle, they've been interested in that sort of scope of, oh, well, here's something that Catherine is involved with. To some extent, press is press, and so it's wonderful to have that attention from it. But I do find it slightly uncomfortable as sort of like, well, I don't want that to be the angle. I want the angle to be, this lineup is absolutely fantastic. Go to it because the lineup's fantastic, not because a girl has thought of some of the bands that are on it.